Hi everyone, how are you today? Welcome to today's training. I am seeing you guys as you're coming in. It's a bit different for me over here today. Let me make sure everything is good at my end. As you're coming in, please just say hi, put a wave, put a Titan, put something in the comments to say, I am ready to break through some of these money blocks, maybe some of these things that may have been holding you back a long time, and you're ready for something new, to bring in the new with regards to money, to really start receiving that financial abundance that you are so capable of receiving, that you are so worthy of receiving, and you are ready to receive, right? So go ahead and just pop a high 10 into the comments as you're coming in. If you are ready for all of that, like if you are like, okay, I'm done with the struggle around money, and I'm going to go through 5 ways that we can, 5 steps really that you can take to really start breaking through some of these things that are holding you back, some of these old beliefs, these thought patterns, these conditioned self, deep-rooted beliefs that can sometimes hold us back for years even. So we're going to dive into that in just a minute. And I just wanted to let you know, I have a little bit of background noise today. So if you are, hopefully it's not too bad and it seems to be calming down a little bit, but if you do hear something in the background, it shouldn't last very long. We have a few people around in the garden today, so it can be a little bit noisy sometimes. So hopefully we are out of that and we are fully supported in moving forward. All right, let's get started. So I've been really excited for today's training, and I've had quite a few messages from you guys just about, so many of you may know, last month we actually did our best business month ever in terms of income, right? In terms of the financial aspect of the business. And as you know, there is a massive part of this business that is only alive because of this beautiful ability to serve and to help you to rise to the next level. That is why, I wake up and do this in the morning instead of maybe doing something else. Then the other side of the business, of course, is that it is a business, right? And so therefore, it needs to also support me, and it also needs to support my family, and it needs to support itself to be able to go to the next level so that we can reach more people, so we can change more lives, so we can uplift more women, right? I know you guys are all for that. And so that side of the business, when it goes back, and I'm going to tell you a few stories about myself as we go through today, because looking at me now, you look at me today and see what I've been able to accomplish, I could almost say it wasn't meant to happen. Like personally, me, like there's nothing special about me. There's nothing different that I am bringing forth in my day other than this stuff that I'm going to share with you today, in terms of really shifting my beliefs, shifting my thought patterns, really holding myself in a higher vibration. But I'm not special in any way. I grew up just like everybody else grew up, with metaphors around money that didn't serve me, with belief patterns that were instilled from when I was very young about, money not being great for so many different reasons. I didn't come into this world with this belief that money is beautiful and it's serving and it's purposeful and it's supportive and we want more of it and we want everyone else, especially, beautiful heart-led women, to have more of it. I didn't come into this world with all of those beliefs, but over the years I have shifted and changed and really healed many of those deep-rooted belief patterns, and now I'm able to show up and actually have a really nice relationship with money where I support the money in terms of where it goes and what it's infused in, and I get to vote on so many things. I love to vote with my money, like putting my money into things that really matter. And it's been such a beautiful experience for me to be able to really experience that as an adult, because as a child, I definitely did not ever think that I would be in that position and have that beautiful relationship with it. So if that's where you want to be, and if maybe there are a few things that you know are holding you back in terms of your beliefs, in terms of your thought patterns, just go ahead and put like a little money symbol into the comments, put a high 10 into the comments, and just be like, Marissa, I am ready. I am absolutely 100% just ready to shift this, ready to move this. You guys let me know. Becca, let me know if that noise in the background is like, if I should move. If it's okay, I'm just going to keep going. If it's not too bad, because I stop and start. But I just want to know that you can hear me and that you guys are engaged with me. Okay, so let's dive in. There are 5 steps to really breaking through some of these old money blocks, some of these old patterns, and I'm going to share them with you guys today so that you can leave, so that you can walk away today with the tools, with the techniques, with a beautiful little toolbox, like filled with some things that you can start now, Okay, great. Thanks, Becca. And I do apologize for the background noise. It'll come and go, but we're going to keep going. We're going to muscle through. Hi, Carly. How are you? So nice to see you on here today. That is awesome that you could join us live. So those of you on the replay, really engage with us and pop your hands, up into the comments if you're ready to shift this. Let the universe know. Let us know. Let your inner self, your higher self know that you're actually ready to shift some of these old belief patterns that you might have around money. And so, where are we here? What we want to do today is change the stories. So quite often from when we were very, very young, we create these stories about money. I'll give you an example of one of mine. So when I was a little girl, I remember watching my dad. He was standing at the window of our living room and he was looking out, and I remember trying to get his attention. I was a little girl, he was my dad, I wanted to play, or I wanted to, engage with him in some way. And I remember standing there and looking up at him. He was so tall, so I must have been very young, maybe 5. And I was trying to get his attention, and he did not even know that I was there. He was staring out of that window. And when I went to hold his hand to kind of say, Dad, where are you? You're staring out the window. His hand was shaking. I could feel it shaking. And as a little girl, I didn't understand stress. I didn't understand, these deep challenges that can come in life around money. But I knew that he was worried, and I knew that he was concerned. And so I was 5 years old, and I created this story that all money is hard, right? And that it is hard to have, it's hard to make, and it's hard to keep. And it's hard if you're in business, money is just a hard thing, like just all out. And I remember the day, I remember this and just instilling this into my mind. And of course it stayed in my body as well at a cellular level. And so I really had to work very hard in my inner world to be able to really shift that, to open up for new growth. And so I want you guys to just have a think about, it may not look anything like my little story, but just having a think back to your childhood. And of course, we want to send a lot of compassion to our parents, to our caregivers, to everyone who was around us as a child, because they were just doing the best that they could possibly do. And very likely they were contending with their own conditioned self and their own beliefs that may have been instilled in them for generations, maybe. And so we want to come at this with a lot of compassion, but we also want to become aware of maybe what were our stories growing up, what other stories that we've created along the way. So go ahead and pop into the comments. This is a safe space. This is a space that we've created for you in here, this group, for you to be able to open up and get vulnerable and really share with us so that we can help you to shift. So go ahead and pop into the comments. What is a story, one story that you may be still repeating to yourself that was possibly created a long time ago? Maybe it was in childhood. Maybe it was just in the past. It could have been later on in life, that you are ready to shift, that you need to let go of, that maybe is holding you back right now from opening up to more. So that was my little story. There were many, many like that. Another one is the metaphors, right? The metaphors around money. And so we want to change your story. We want to heal our heart. So we want to heal the way that we've been affected by what we've seen and what we've heard about money to date. And then we want to shift our vibration. So there are kind of these three things, but I have 5 steps for you that we're going to go through today. So the first step is really believing, like in your bones, in your belly, to the deepest part of you, that there is nothing wrong with making an income. There is nothing wrong with receiving financial reward for maybe something that you love doing, or maybe it's just in general. And also really believing that once you have it, you can keep it. Because what often happens is once we get through the sort of first layer of these, deep-rooted money beliefs, what can happen is people start receiving a lot, and then it can be challenging for them to keep because there's this whole other layer to it. And you hear about these people who win the lotto. They win the lottery, they receive millions of dollars, and then a part of that is money management, right? Like really understanding how to manage money. But another part of that is these deep-rooted beliefs that may believe that, they may not believe that they're worthy of having it or keeping it, or when it comes to spending it, there are fears around that have come about. So again, just thinking about like, what are these stories? And this first step is to really get you to a place where you believe that there is nothing wrong with receiving money and keeping money. And also for those of you, I know many of you are in small business, you run small businesses, you have online businesses. If you're in the Rejuvenate program, many of you are starting online businesses or going deeper into your online business. And so I want you guys to really know that there is nothing wrong with making an impact in life on this planet and earning an income as well. It is possible to be well compensated and do work that you're passionate about that helps others too. And there's no sense asking for the money, asking for the financial reward, and putting ourselves out in terms of manifestation of money in the universe if we don't believe that it's even possible for us, right? So this is why it's so important that we change our stories, that we really look at what has happened in our past and we go about it in like a very particular way to change these stories, to shift these belief patterns, to get rid of these ongoing thoughts that might be playing like a broken record. Okay, let's have a look and see if you guys have put any comments in here. Watching my parents always showing us that we're always needing to save money. Yes. Yes. And so what fear might be underlying there in terms of saving? So asking yourself that question, like what is then that next layer? Is it that money's not continuous? It doesn't continuously come in. And so we need to, always have that backup. What is the underlying fear? Because saving is beautiful. Like it's great to save. But if there's a fear around doing anything related to money, then we're maybe creating that block. Money doesn't grow on trees. Yes, exactly. I had that one too growing up. My whole life I had that one. And we used to joke that money, like Dad had a money tree in the backyard and we would ask him, Dad, can you go pick some money for us, please? Because it was told to us so often, right, that we made a whole scenario and a whole joke around it. Always giving us everything that we needed. Yep. So never noticed anything that challenging when growing up. Only found out later in life that there was always something happening around money. My parents never let us feel that we didn't have any money or needing to be careful with what we have and what we spend. I'm so interested in this. So only found out later in life that there was always something happening around money. So what do you think that was? What do you feel that that is? And when you think about money and receiving money, how do you feel and what do you feel is blocking you? I would love to know that because we can work through this right here, right now. Amazing. So that is number one in terms of this belief, right? And you guys understanding that there are stories, there are belief patterns, some are really deep rooted, some are generational. So when we do this healing work, quite often, and I've had a couple clients come in and say, wow, I didn't understand what generational healing work was until this session, because now I understand that it doesn't just go back to my parents or my grandparents. This can be like 8 generations back that is being passed down to us. And sometimes, very often, we're holding it in our body at a cellular level. It's just being passed down. And so we can clear that. And the beauty of it is we're not just clearing it for us, we're clearing it for our future generations as well. And so the second piece to this, the second step, once we've done a little bit of bringing awareness and a little bit of understanding around our stories and the metaphors that maybe are still instilled in us, right? We want to hold ourselves higher. So I want you to hold yourself at a higher vibration. I'll explain to you what that means in a minute. But one of my biggest personal and business secrets that is no longer really a secret is that I've been able to live in a continual state of abundance of my own money coming in. So I had a similar thing to you in that I always felt very taken care of as a child, even though I saw that with my dad, he had his challenges around the business and I think the money coming in continuously and for it being consistent. And I think I picked up on some of that. I know I did. But in terms of being taken care of, I also had that where I never felt that I went without. I always had everything that I needed and more. And he went above and beyond and he worked really hard for it, which is another thing that we're going to talk about in a minute. But he went above and beyond to provide that. So I always felt very well provided for. And even into my teens then, like I could shop and I could get the shoes I wanted and the dresses I wanted or whatever it was that made me feel that I was taken care of at that time. And so allowing yourself to really feel that, like feel deep into that and feel I'm taken care of even like now as the money is coming into me, and it can be continuous and it can be, this is a big one, mine. It can be my money that's coming in, because certainly for myself as well, I always felt like dad was there. Mum and dad were always there for me, like to catch me if I fell. There was always this retainer. There was always this ability to fall back on them if I needed that. And for me, I needed to really break free from that, like from that knowing that they would catch me to be able to really shift and get out on my own as well. And so the biggest thing here is really knowing, so living in a continual state of abundance despite the financial abundance not being there, and allowing money to be a continual flow into my life, which does start to happen as you do that, and allowing it to be okay that I made the money, right? Allowing it to be okay that this money is now mine and I'm making it and I'm no longer reliant on someone else for it. So for all my life, I saw people really burning out. I saw people working hard. So this is what we're going to talk about. Do we work hard for money, or does it come with ease? Does it come with flow? Does it come, really, really easily? For trusting people is one issue that money has been a big thing. Always trying to be self-independent, having my own money, which has been challenging as I'm trying to set up my business. Sure, I never like to ask for money from anyone. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm being taken care of, so never really have to worry, but it's very hard to feel free. Right. I have my own money, but not like I would like it to be. I love to make my own money, as I love to give unconditionally. I love that so much, because as we are bringing in our own money, we get to choose, right? So like what I was saying to you when we first started is I now get to vote with my money. I vote every purchase I make. I'm voting for that. So whether I'm wanting to help the environment, or I'm wanting to save animals, or I'm wanting to support people and support small businesses and support local, I have so much choice now to be able to do that. And so what I want you guys to do is really start to think about the beautiful ways that you would spend this money, right? The beautiful things that you would do with this money. And this is why I get so passionate about this topic, because you guys are heart-led women. There is no one in this world who should have more money than you. Like, you are the people that are making the impact. You are the people who have these huge hearts, who want to make the change on this planet, right? There is no one who deserves this more than you. And there is no one in the world that I would like to see have more money in their hands, because I know that you're going to do such good with it. And so start to think about, what are all the beautiful things that you would do with your money? Put them into the comments. What would you do? What would you do? How would you spend it? How would you change this planet? How would you help others to make this change? What could you do if you had more? And this is something that I've been realizing lately as I take the business to the next level, is that as the business supports itself, it can do more, right? Then the business can start to support organizations that can really shift and change in other ways on the planet. The business can operate in a way where we can reach more people, where we can help more people, where we can support more women. So there's a lot of excitement as we start to open up to all of this. So go ahead and pop into the comments. What is it? What are the changes you would make? What are the things you would do with your money? And so the second thing that we need to do is really hold yourself in this higher state, right? So holding yourself in this continual state of abundance. And when we think about the vibrational scale, we have, fear and anxiety, very low vibration, very dense energy. And then when we think about joy and expansion and exhilaration, they are all, and gratitude and appreciation, they're all very, very high on the vibrational scale. The higher we are living in our days on the vibrational scale, the more open we are to receiving. And so we want to hold you there. So I want you guys to come up with a statement today, and I'm going to help you to do that. So bear with me. Okay, so I'm all about combining the spiritual practice, right? With the bricks and mortar when I'm designing my life, when I'm designing my business. You guys know that about me, and so I really want to help you to do the same. And so earning with ease is something that has really probably in the last year that I've really been able to step into. Being in a vibrational state to be able to earn with ease, and to be able to visually watch the money coming in without this need of, or this desire to hold on to it or will it to come in, or, without this attachment to it. And so then it becomes so much more in flow and so much easier to do. as well. So that's something that I'm really dedicated to doing. And that's something that I also watched when I was a child, was my dad and my mom work pretty hard for every dollar, right? And so I'm very, very dedicated to making my life and my business that little bit different in terms of the ease and the flow, so that I can pass that down to my children as well, right? And when you do this, you inspire others to do the same, and life becomes a whole lot more fun, a whole lot more playful, and a whole lot easier as well. And so, as I was saying before, all my life I saw people burning out, working hard, putting pressure on themselves, the inner critic, just self-talk, like go harder, keep going kind of thing. And so that was one of the things that held me back initially. I would work around the clock and not even really making money. I mean, I was just dedicated to the work game, right? And so I want you guys to have a think about, what is it for you? What has been holding you back? What do you need to heal? And if you want to make 6 figures in your business, let's pop into the comments. How much would you like to make in your business? Pop that into the comments. How much would you like to make in your life? Whether if you don't have a business, how much would you like to be bringing in every month or every year? And pop that into the comments. Let the universe know you're ready for that. We are ready to be bringing in more and more and more. So go ahead and pop that into the comments, because as we become aware and as we begin to write these things down, this is where the shifts happen. This is where these inner shifts start to happen. You can break through. So, and then the next part is we need to, what can you say to yourself to rise above the old stuff? And this is number 3. What can you really say to yourself to start rising above the old stuff? So as you're typing in, this is how much I'd like to be making per month. I want you guys to remember that money is just energy. It is just energy. It is a resource. It is there to support you. There is so much of it in the world, and you can actually have a huge impact in, the world, not only in your business, in your life, in your family, but on the planet when you actually have money in your pocket, right? Or in your bank account or in your wallet. And so we really want you to think about, now with that income, when it comes in, what will you be doing with it? And I remember one of my coaches telling me at one point that she had an experience where, I think it was her coach that told her, what would you rather do? Would you rather be the activist that is like strapped to the tree, wishing that the tree won't be chopped down in the rainforest, trying to save the rainforest? Or would you rather be in a position to buy the rainforest? What would you rather do? And that really hit home for me, because that was when the day that I really realized that if I had access to money in bigger ways, I would be able to create so much more of an impact, so much more change on this planet. And it began to inspire me and motivate me to move more toward that. Because I think for a long time too, I was very much like, my parents are givers and they love to give and overgive. And I adopted a lot of those traits. And so in doing that, and I think for many of you, you'll feel the same way. In doing that, it was like, well, I don't want money because I just want to be a good person, right? And so when did we divide that? Like, when did we decide that you can't have money and be a good person as well? And so that's where we have to look back, right? Number 1, go back to our childhood and think about, where did we get that from? Where did we get this idea from that, like, if we have a lot of money for our own, and we want to be a good person, that those two are not going to be a match? Because what if they could be an even bigger match than you could ever even imagine, right? So what can you say to yourself today? This is number 3, to really rise above that old stuff, and remembering that money is just energy, and that you can have an even bigger impact when you have money to back your ideas and your dreams and your visions and your desires. So do you want to save the tree or do you want to buy the rainforest? It's just such a beautiful question, to ask yourself. And it really gave me, and motivated me to think about how different the world would be if women were able to create the same level of wealth as men have been able to create on this planet. And so, in saying that, what can you say to yourself? So for me, it was like, well, Marissa, do you want to buy the tree or do you want to save the rainforest? And that just became like a little mantra for me, a little question for me that I used to ask myself all the time. Do you want to save the tree or try to save the tree with not really a lot of power? Or do you want to like just buy the whole freaking rainforest and change the planet? Like, what do you want to do? And so thinking about what can you say to yourself right now in this moment that you can keep with you as a mantra or as a question that you'll continuously ask yourself time and time again, that's going to remind you of the impact that you can have when you have this much money. Because the thing is, we want our why to be so big, or our conditioned self is always going to creep in and be like, oh, I don't really need that much money. Like, what am I going to do with it anyway? I'm a nice person. I'll just go and do good in my community. Think about how much more good you could do in your community if you had that financial backing, if you had that financial support. So then number 4 is, before I go to number 4, I just want to have a look here and see if we have any comments. Yes, exactly. Buy the rainforest. That is what I've always been wanting to change the world in so many ways, showing people how to live a healthy lifestyle. Yes, Sharon, and how important is that? How important is it that everyone on this planet gets to live a healthy life, gets to understand how they can feel and how they can show up in the world when they are eating well, when they're moving their body in ways that supports them? That is so vital, right, to our being, to our longevity, to us enjoying our time on this planet. What you are doing is so purposeful and is so meaningful on this planet, and we need it. We need it. Yes, love, that's a great question. Yes. Equal is my thing with women and men and the money. Yeah, good. So let's aspire to that, right? Let us as women be allowed to bring in and spend in our feminine, divine, powerful energy, right? Because that is so different, isn't it? For us to be able to show up in our feminine and to be able to put that money, vote with our money and put that money where it needs to be in this world to create this powerful change that we can only do in our feminine, divine energy and power. I love it. Awesome. Okay, so number 4 is, this is the big part. This is the part that I have done differently in the past years that has been able to change everything for me. And that is practicing the feelings in my body that helped my brain to believe that it was only not possible, but that it was my new reality. Right? And we hear about this in manifestation. We hear about this when we study the law of attraction. We hear about this when we talk about astrophysics and really And so practicing feeling this in your belly. So how can we do this, right? To get over your limiting beliefs, how can we do this? So we want to identify the beliefs that need to be shifted. We want to hold yourself high on that vibrational scale. We want to tell ourselves the new stories, or ask ourselves the questions like, do you want to save the tree or buy the rainforest? To remind us of where we're going. And then we want to feel what it feels like to actually be there. And so something for me I use as a mantra. And so you can create your own mantra. And I'm so grateful, thankful, and happy. And I shared this with the client this week. I think we also talked about it in the training last week, because that takes me to my future, that future present moment. And so I'm so grateful, thankful, and happy that I am now, whatever it might be for you. So go ahead and pop that into the comments. I'm so grateful, thankful, and happy that I am now earning blah, blah, blah. And, it might be, for me, it's continuous. So one of mine is like, I'm so grateful, thankful, and happy that I'm now having easy, joyful, and continuous $100,000 months. And easy, joyful, and continuous being the foundation of your mantra, because there's no point in bringing in all that money if it's not easy, if it's not enjoyable. And for sure we want it to be continuous. You just heard a big part of a tree fall outside. For sure we want it to be continuous, because we don't want you feeling like, oh, okay, I did it once, can I do it again? We want you in that energy of this can happen every single time, right? Every single time. And then having a think about, like, how does that feel to you? So for me, $100,000 months are quite a way outside of my, like, where I feel really comfortable in bringing in. And so I want you guys to stretch it. I want you to go a little above and a little beyond what actually feels like you can accomplish in your body. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and close our eyes down. And I'm just going to throw out some figures at you. And then I want you to just feel what it feels like in your belly. Okay. All right. Closing down your eyes. Taking a deep breath. Let's hope we have a little bit of silence now. We hear some birds. Big breath in through the nose. Breathing out through your mouth. And moving down into your belly. And I want you to think about this next month coming up. And I know we have quite a few of you in here that have businesses, so we're going to just hone in on the business. If you don't have a business, then you can just think about however you want that money to come in for you. Take a deep breath in. Really focusing on your belly. Feel your body relax. And from the tip top of your head, I would like you to see this gold energy representing the money coming in through the crown of your head and moving all the way down your body, just to remove any tension, any stuck energy, anything that has come up for you already this morning, any triggers, because as I'm talking, sometimes things can be a bit triggered by things, which is good. It just shows you the areas that we need to work on. Taking another deep breath in. Allowing that gold liquid energy to move down through your head, through your neck, through your spine and chest, all the way down through your belly. Fill up your belly with this liquid gold energy and feel that, like, really receiving the financial reward for all that you're putting in. Feel the gold liquid energy go down through your legs, into your toes, down your shoulders, into your arms and fingertips. Take a deep breath in. Breathe it all out. And I want you now to just become very conscious of your physical body. Become very conscious of how you're sitting, whether your body feels heavy or light. And as I repeat these numbers to you, I just want you to feel what it feels like in your belly. So nice deep breath in. And I'm going to repeat $2,000 a month. $2,000 per month. And just notice how that feels in your body, in your belly. $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month. Just really feel how that feels in your belly. And you may feel like something comes up in another part of your body. So just really taking note of that. Is there tension that comes up in another area of your body? And then $10,000 per month. How does that feel to you in your belly? And are there any areas of tension that comes up for you in other areas? I'm yawning, so you may actually shift a little bit of energy through this meditation to $15,000 a month. See how that feels in your belly and in your body. $20,000 a month. And I'm going to drop the month off of it. And from now on, you can just feel how the money feels to you. It can be monthly, yearly. $50,000. $50,000. Take a nice deep breath in. How does that feel to you in your belly? Getting a bit of a husky throat here, so there could be something still underlying with that for me. Something to do with my throat chakra. Take another deep breath in. $80,000. $80,000. How does that feel in your belly? How does it feel in your body? $100,000. $100,000. How does that feel to you? There could be energy shifting. I'm feeling energy shifting over here. Yawning is a clear indication of it being just shifting some energy. $200,000. Take a nice deep breath in. Feeling that in your belly. Feeling it in your heart space, in your throat. What's coming up for you in your body? $500,000. $500,000. $500,000. And then $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. How does that feel to you in your belly? What's coming up for you in your body? So for me on the $1 million mark, I'm having a little bit of tension in my shoulders and a bit of tension in my neck also, which could be around some support, maybe not feeling supported enough to reach that mark continuously. Taking a nice deep breath in. Breathing out all your air. I'm yawning. There's more energy shifting. And just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, open your eyes, come back into the space with me, and I would love to hear from you. So what happened for you when we were moving through those? Was there a figure that you really got stuck on that you were like, yes, I love this figure. Like this is going to be in my mantra, because you want it to feel good to you. You want it to feel good enough to you that you're going to bring it in. And we also then just want to stretch it a little bit higher. So as you feel really good about a number, we want to go just a little tiny bit higher than that for your mantra. And then was there also a figure that you hit that you were just like, like your body was just like, no, that would never happen for me, or that's going to be hard to do, or I can't even fathom that, like it's not even possible for me. So just being really aware of these two. taking a nice deep breath in. I will wait for some comments before I go because I would love to hear what you guys got out of that meditation. And then number 5, and this number 5 is probably the most important step, and that is repeat. All right, it's just one word, repeat, because a lot of the time in manifestation, in bringing in our desires, in doing the things that we need to do in daily life, maybe we've taken manifestation courses, maybe we've learned about law of attraction, maybe we feel like we're doing all the things. The one thing that I can share with you about the conditioned self is that it will creep in whenever it has an opportunity to. So something I was talking with one of my diamond clients yesterday about was that it is so important to keep moving forward. It is so important that our energy doesn't become stagnant and that we're continuously working at this, that we're continuously moving forward. One thing that she noticed is that she's been moving forward at such a rapid rate that she said these words to me: I don't think I've had time to really listen to my inner critic because I've been moving at such a rate. And this is what we want for you. The acceleration, the change can happen really fast. It can be a drastic change, and it doesn't have to be a year from now. But we want you to be continuously moving forward, because that when that conditioned self comes up, if we are stagnant, if we're staying still, if we're not stepping in and taking risks and making bold decisions, it can be really loud and it can start to take over. So the reason why I want you to repeat these 4 steps over and over and over again is so that the conditioned self doesn't even have time to come up and stall you, because it is actively going to want to do that continuously, right? It is so complex and it works really, really hard to keep you in that small circle like we talk about in the workshop, to keep you small, to keep you from really stepping out, to keep you from living boldly, to keep you from really stepping into your dreams. And so we want you to repeat. So repeat your mantras, repeat the healing process, repeat these questions that you keep saying to yourself that are going to hold you in a higher state. Repeat whatever you're doing in terms of your physical tasks, tangible things that you're doing in daily life to keep your vibration higher. And continuously keep repeating that. One thing that comes up with manifestation, we have a whole module on manifestation in our year-long program, which I've now brought into the 6-month program, because it is so important that we understand that. So often in manifestation, it's like, oh, but I went there and I felt it. And so, but where is it? But if we're not continuously holding ourselves in that light and continuously holding ourselves at that height, we are not giving off the right vibration to be able to bring in what we want. And let me tell you, it's not that hard. It's not like we have to be in our authentic self all of the time. I have a lot of conditioned self moments and am still able to manifest the thing that I want, because I keep going back. I keep coming back. I keep holding myself higher. Every time I see myself shifting, I bring myself back. And so number 5 is repeat. I want you guys to do this continuously. I want this to become the most important thing that you do in your day, not just to bring in money, but to bring in all your heart's desires, all the happiness that you deserve and want, and all the, relationships and joy and connections and playful experiences that you want to have on this earth while you are here. This is the same process that we use for all of that as well. I love you guys so much. Okay, let's have a look here. 1 million. I just had a huge yawn at that moment and my leg was feeling odd today, and that pain is all gone thanks to this meditation. That is amazing. It's so great. So happy to hear that. I love that when things change daily, I can feel and see the things moving for me and my authentic self. Awesome. I did feel a block the last few weeks. Yeah, not being able to stay in your authentic self. And that's something I don't want you guys to worry too much about in terms of manifestation. We just keep shifting, right? Keep shifting back. Just because you've hit a conditioned self moment does not mean that you have to stay there in that momentum. Just because you hit, some emotions that didn't feel good to you does not mean that you are still not moving forward and manifesting your desires. You deserve this. You are worthy of this. You are worthy of massive compensation for the beautiful work that you do in the world. And I love you guys so much. We will touch on this money stuff again because I know there are many of you asking about it, but hopefully this gives you a good start for now. I love you guys beyond. I will see you in the group, and I'm excited to see you next week as well. Bye.